and I've got to do that. I better turn that on, otherwise the peanuts will complain they can't hear the videos. Oh, hey Jinxu, Carl, Death, Stevie B. I think, thank God the flat was there too, yeah. It turned up. You weren't here last time. And hey Carl, I've got to do that. I better. Oh, and I didn't turn that off. I don't want to hear myself twice. Jinxu's got a ride-on lawnmower that's got cup holders. But who keeps an open glass of whiskey on a mower throwing all kinds of crap around? Yeah, that's true. Well, the audio is broken. Carl said the audio is broken. No, it's not. I heard myself come through YouTube, so it can't be broken. Hi, Death. Morning, Fondle. Well, as you can see on the thumbnail, I put an image of a guy named Hans Lippershey. Lippershey? How to pronounce it? He was thought to be the inventor of the telescope. I thought he was born in... Okay, he moved to Middlesbrough, now a Dutch town. Born in Germany. Okay. You fixed it. Yeah, that's right. So...
Fred Knotts, I'm sure there's an Alan and a Paul.
Where's Fred Knotts?
You said no Alan or Gravity. We're here, we're just being quiet.
Oh, okay, no Alan or Gravity. Oh, they're here. Somewhere.
Yes, I'm here. I'm just putting the finishing touches on 10 very difficult questions.
Otherwise, we'll have to go to the bottle caps, Paul, because John Rapp wants me to read off the bottle caps next one time.
Okay.
Oh, there's some tricky questions on there.
I'm sure there are.
But I don't read out the sports questions because I've got no idea for the sports answers to the sports ones. You got your you're going to do the readings again tonight, Alan?
Oh, if you would like me to.
As long as you've got your reading glasses on, it helps.
Yes, I have my reading glasses on. I can tell I have my reading glasses on because I can hold my distance glasses up just in front of my face and actually still see them.
So I thought we'd start off with the telescope. I know it's got microscope as well, but I'll look into that to see what the story was with the microscope.
Was that a pun? You'll look into it.
I thought you'd like that.
This is when I could do with Dora still being here, so that she could tell me whether or not I get the sort of Dutch pronunciations correct.
Ah, okay.
Unless there's anybody else in the side chat that speaks Dutch. Fred says, "Can we get PhD Tony to read? I need a nap."
I don't think Tony'd like that.
Oh, Eric DeBay put you to sleep too.
Well, one's death. You've got to stop calling me Alan Wellard.
Why, you're not hard?
Not anymore, I'm not. Okay, so Just give me a second. Okay then. Hans Lippershey, telescope and microscope inventor, by Nick Green. Who was the first person to create a telescope? It's one of the most indispensable tools in astronomy, so it seems like the person who first came up with the idea would be well known and written up in history. Unfortunately, no one is quite sure who the first to design and build one, but the most likely suspect was a German optician named Hans Lippershey. Meet the man behind the idea of the telescope. Hans Lippershey was born in 1570 in Wesel, Germany, but little else is known about his early life. He moved to Middelburg, now a Dutch town, and married in 1594. He took up the trade of optician, eventually becoming a master lens grinder. By all accounts, he was a tinkerer who tried various methods of creating lenses for glasses and other uses. In the late 1500s, he began experimenting with lining up lenses to magnify the view of distant objects. From the historical record, it appears that Lippershey was the first to use a pair of lenses in this way. However, he may not have been the first to actually experiment with combining lenses to create crude telescopes and binoculars. There is a tale that says some children were playing with flawed lenses from his workshop to make distant objects look bigger. Their crude toy inspired him to do further experiments after he watched what they were doing. He built a housing to hold the lenses and experimented with their placement inside. While others, such as Jacob Mitz and Zacharias Janssen, later also claimed to invent the telescope, it was Lippershey who worked on perfecting the optical technique and application. His earliest instrument was simply two lenses held in place so that an observer could look through them to distant objects. He called it a looker. In Dutch, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Its invention immediately led to the development of spyglasses and other magnifying devices. It was the first known version of what we know today as a refracting telescope. Such a lens arrangement is now common in camera lenses. Too far ahead of his time. Eventually, in 1608, Lippershey applied to the government of the Netherlands for a patent on his invention. Unfortunately, his patent request was denied. The government thought that the looker could not be kept a secret because it was such a simple idea. However, he was asked to create several binocular telescopes for the Netherlands government and was well compensated for his work. His invention was not called telescope at first. Instead, people referred to it as the Dutch reflecting glass. The theologian Giovanni de Misani actually came up with the word telescope first from the Greek words for far, telos, and scopion, meaning to look or see. The idea spreads. After Lippershey's application for the patent was publicised, people across Europe took notice of his work and began fiddling with their own versions of the instrument. The most famous of these was Italian scientist Galileo Galilei, who used a telescope of his own making based on Lippershey's work and wrote about his observations. Once he learned of the device, Galileo began constructing his own, eventually increasing the magnification to a factor of 20. Using that improved version of the telescope, Galileo was able to spot mountains and craters on the Moon, see that the Milky Way was composed of stars, and discover the 4 largest moons of Jupiter, which are now called the Galileans. Lippershey didn't stop his work with optics, and eventually he invented the compound microscope, which uses lenses to make very small things look large. However, there's some argument that the microscope may have been invented by 2 other Dutch opticians, Hans and Zacharias Janssen, who were making similar optical devices. However, records are very scanty, so it's hard to know who actually came up with the idea first. Nonetheless, once the idea was out of the bag, scientists began finding many uses for this way of magnifying the very small and the very distant. Hans Lippershey, whose name is also sometimes spelled as shown there, died in the Netherlands in 1619, just a few years after Galileo's monumental observations using the telescope. A crater on the Moon is named in his honour, as well as asteroid 31338, Lippershey. In addition, a recently discovered exoplanet bears his name. Today, thanks to his original work, an amazing variety of telescopes are in use around the world and in orbit. They function using the same principles he first noticed, using optics to make distant objects look larger and give astronomers more detailed looks at celestial objects. Most telescopes today are reflectors, which use mirrors to reflect the light from an object. The use of optics in their eyepieces and onboard instrumentations installed on such orbital platforms as the Hubble Space Telescope continue to help observers, particularly using backyard-type telescopes, to refine the view even more. Right. Yeah. Terry, are you not going to start talking again or something?
Oh, was I muted? Shit. Didn't realise I
Yeah.
was muted. Yes, Carl, I was muted again. What did I say? I said, yeah. Like I said, I'll look into it a bit more and see what rabbit hole I can go down to find out what happened next with the telescope and the microscope. More so the telescope, anyway. What was the other bit? Oh yeah, thanks Alan for reading that. Okay. I've got a lot of videos tonight, but we can watch Lindsay and then do a bit of a quiz.
Thanks, Dora, for saying my Dutch pronunciation wasn't bad. I did try.
Yeah, we needed touch.
It is a bit hard at times.
Excellent pronunciation. Only meteus was off. Meet the us. Okay. Yeah, Terry just said the most profound things ever. Yeah, only when I'm muted. It always happens, Death. It always happens. And I can't repeat it when I open the mic back up because it wouldn't come out the same. Okay. Does anyone remember out there what we're up to last time with Lindsay? What's he got here? Okay, we've seen that one, the Facebook deleted one where he went on his phone and he couldn't find out why something was deleted. So I don't know what happened there. Now he's got one here. The black hole has us living in an inverted magnetic field, and he's looks like he's just sitting on a desk playing with his magnets for that one. And then we're back to the whiteboard after that. So watch him play with Lindsay. Yes, lost forever, Terry. Yeah, that's it. Steve, who's this Lindsay? Doesn't Dark Steve know who Lindsay is?
Oh, he must know who Lindsay is.
We've been following Lindsay for a while now, Steve.
Something with donuts, butts, or boobs.
Well, I don't know. He hasn't got the blackboard this time.
It's impossible.
I'll grab that. Okay. Looks like he's pulling magnets apart again. Oh.
That's what it is. All over the floor. Oh yeah, it's sarcasm. Oh yeah, I know. I'm betting that Dark Steve was just trying to make you not do Lindsay.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously that's not going to work because if you say you don't know him or who's this Lindsay, well, we're going to play it for your benefit of saying, well, this is Lindsay.
Yeah, you're just going to make life worse for him, aren't you?
Yeah, it would have done. Yeah, exactly.
Understanding flat Earth with magnets. Describing the flat Earth model using magnets. Imagine this is the northern hemisphere. That's the northern hemisphere. This is the southern hemisphere. Look, there's a gap. You'll see it in star rotations, star trails, photography. You'll see the southern rotation. You'll see the northern rotation. Depending where you are, if you're in the south, you'll only see a portion of the north rotation in the foreground. Well, it depends on where you're filming, of course. If you aim your camera, if you're in the south, aim your camera towards the celestial equator, you'll see probably less than half the northern sky. But you'll see the gap between the two rotations. There's always this gap, see? Because we live in a magnetic field. That's how it works. Now, we know it's 90 degrees from the North Pole to the equator, don't we? And 90 degrees from the equator to the South Pole.
But where's the South Pole?
47.
How can you have a South Pole on that's a circle? Terry, we can hear you lighting the smoke up.
No, that was probably me opening a can of
Ah,
something.
yeah, bit early for alcohol here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can always justify it, Alan, because it's always the right time in some part of the world.
Yeah, I know.
Has Terry gone AWOL?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. He stopped.
Oh.
He stopped it and then
I know
vanished.
I sneezed and I forgot to unmute again.
Again.
Well, I had to sneeze. Paul wouldn't have liked it if I'd have sneezed into the microphone. That would have been terrible.
7 degrees between the tropics.
How do I fix this terrible sound that's coming out of this video?
Well, just like a ring magnet, look at that gap. You can find that gap is the same ratio as what we have on Earth. That
What gap?
No. And what ratio?
Yeah, you don't see
I don't know.
a gap.
The ratio of what, Lindsay?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but sometimes my brain just refuses to listen to Lindsay.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's a gap, but I don't think it's on the table.
magnetic gap there, you'll find if this was 90 millimeters wide, and that was 90 millimeters wide, you'll find that gap is 47.
What?
Will be
What?
40.
So what? Just because the magnets is a certain size, there's a certain gap.
47
Won't
mil.
that depend on how
Strong
big
the magnets
magnetic
are.
field is from
Yeah.
each magnet? Yeah, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But not quite, because magnetic dip is not at 90 degrees. I read recently
Did
it
you
was
say magnetic derp?
I think dip.
He's
Dip.
New Zealand, remember. Dip is dup in New Zealandish.
Yeah, like their deck.
Okay.
About 68 degrees south. So when I took these measurements and worked on that basis, that measurement there was the same. It matched the Earth, the distance between north and south, this gap. That's the, so you see that gap at the celestial equator. That's where Orion's belt passes through. This gap represents the tropics down here on Earth.
Orion's belt? Hang on.
So in the middle of the star rotation is where the Orion's belt is.
But Orion's belt is just like 3 stars in one constellation, and they're not always in the same bloody place, because it's one of those ones that you see in either hemisphere depending on what the time of the flipping year is.
Ah, okay. Well, he didn't mention that.
Because,
Everything up there is projected down onto the Earth. Everything
Everything up there is projected down onto the Earth. Well, so if we look down at the Earth, we can see what was projected from up there. But I don't think his words could say.
on Earth is projected from above. This is how we get celestial navigation. Everything in the dome above is projected straight down. Its ground position. Its ground position on the ground. It's zenith. And wherever you are on the flat Earth, you represent your zenith. So when you take a reading, an angle, from the horizon up to a star, so whatever this adds up to here, so that's 40 degrees from there to there, whatever this adds up to 90 will give you your zenith wherever you are. So straight away you've got.
Is he trying to tell us how a sextant works?
I have no idea what he's trying to tell us.
I have no idea either. I haven't figured it out yet.
You've got a mark on the earth where you are. And so if you just take a few more readings around your arc of horizon, around your dome, all these directions. Well, let's go back a bit. If you get one reading, it tells you where you are, and the Sailor's Almanac they give you will tell you where that star is at the precise time you took that reading, straight down on the earth. So you've got that position, and now you have your position. So it's just working out the distance between, and that's a small equation. You just take their minutes and times it by 60 nautical miles, gives you a distance between their celestial ground position, celestial body's ground position, and your ground position. It's that easy on a flat earth. Now, if you don't know exactly where you are on the earth, you could be anywhere around.
I just realised he's on the floor.
He is.
I was trying to figure out, is he on a table? And go, I think he's on the floor.
Around, say let's say there's the Southern Ocean, anywhere around the Southern Ocean, but but you have your own arc of horizon like this. You have your own arc sitting over you like this, a dome. And in there you've got all the meridians and your zenith, you're at the centre of it. So what you do is you take some more readings, find some other stars, say the 4 cardinal points. So you've already got the first one right, which basically will give you a ring around that star. Your distance, but it's a ring. You could be anywhere around that celestial body. So you're on that line of ring. So if you take another reading, say over here, you will create a ring around that. And another reading over here, you'll be on that ring around there. Another reading over here, another ring, you'll be on that ring. So all these intersection points of these rings will give you, if you can take them quick enough, will give you an idea that you're right in the centre of those 4 points you just shot. So you'll know where you are on Earth. That's the basics of it. It breaks down a bit more than that, but that's the basics. There's nothing to do with a ball Earth. You don't have to go to the centre, the axis of a round spinning sphere. No, it's all based on the flat Earth. They've known it for thousands and thousands of years. So here's the 2 fields. This southern field moves around. Oh, let's get rid of this other magnet. Moves around the northern field 24/7. Does a full 360 rotation over 24 hours to come back to its exact same position. But no matter where you are around the Earth, there's a projected image in the sky of the stars, right? Well, it's all projected from the dead centre here. So that's from the dead centre, it's always going to have a projection out somewhere around the Earth. Obviously you won't see it at night, during the day, then you see it at night. So, and because they both move together in a cog formation, it's this centre, because that's the heart of it, that's where it all comes from, the centre.
So the projection of it at night, even though some people are in the daytime, he hasn't explained that bit, has he? The daytime, nighttime.
That's turning 24/7.
Very careful what you say.
In the centre.
Why? Oh, okay.
Above the Arctic, you don't even see it. You don't know it. It's outside the donut. It's that gap in the middle of the donut that's not physical. We're in the donut. You could say. Well, the donut in this case here, this very centre is the centre of the donut, but this is half the donut, and this is the other half of the donut. Where they meet, the dead centre of those two meeting points, the centre of that gap is the equator, and that's the zenith of the arc.
And there's a donut holding the other donut as well.
So you can imagine there's an arc that goes from here all the way over to there, because the sky is domed in the south. The projection is on the dome like this.
Thurston, don't confuse me. So are we two circles orbiting each other?
Two sphincters circling each other. Yeah, that's probably more like Lindsay.
Well, you got the central toroidal field, and then you got the two. Then you got one circling in the circumference of where the equator is. So how does? Yeah, okay, I don't want to think about it too much.
A bit tricky to explain, but anyway, there is a dome that goes straight over there, over to there, and we're inside that dome. It's a nice symmetrical dome. It's a concave arc.
That does not match his drawings that he's drawn on the board.
Concave arc.
Concave arc.
And a concave dome.
Yeah. And him explaining that from there to there doesn't explain his drawing, because his drawing doesn't show that.
No.
Up against another concave arc, and dead centre is the equator. And any angles shot from you anywhere, obviously if you stood at the equator and took an angle.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You're talking about the equator.
Well, you soon realise you're in the centre. Putting that aside. You can be anywhere out here, taking your angles to your horizon, because you all have your arc of horizon, so you all have an horizon, no matter where you are.
That's because we all have a personal dome. That's basically
anywhere around the earth.
isn't it?
It'll give you a position, because those stars represent what's located.
What if one dome interferes with the other dome? What happens then?
Down on Earth, the area on the Earth, the place on Earth, ground point.
You can only see your own dome, apparently.
It's all in the Sailor's Almanac, and it's all controlled by the military, British and Americans. It's supposed to be secret, but it's not much of a secret, is it? Oh, you can figure it out yourself. They've taken celestial navigation that's been known to the ancients.
Is he saying that two hemispheres are divided by a gap which stars pass through? It's hard to explain this. On his flat map, there's two sides to the equator down the centre of his donut, but to say it's a hemisphere because it's flat on his donut. Okay.
For thousands and thousands of years.
It's just the same as his titty bums on the whiteboard.
Yeah. I'm just going to jump off my chair and aim head first at the tile floor. Yeah.
Trouble is, this will distract you so much, you'll bloody well miss.
Yeah.
Put it all on a grid, using all the known celestial bodies that were GP points, and the rest of the grid is just, it's easy to work out, isn't it? If you've got a full grid, you know that star, all on the grid, you're going to know these positions, aren't you? That's GPS, all through celestial navigation, ground points of the stars.
So you
He's
believe
obviously got no idea what GPS does
I was
either.
just going to say, so what's GPS, Lindsay? And where's it come from?
Now, see, humans only understand the physical world. They can't accept the non-physical. So they're finding it hard to understand this tree of life in the centre of the garden, the centre of above the Arctic that we do not see. That part in the gap in the donut, the non-physical, the donut's the physical. They can't accept that. But you know, we see things like this, people just seem to accept it, but that's invisible. What's that force? It's invisible. Look, I can pass that. And it's still, it doesn't move, doesn't alter it. Like magic. That's what religion's all about.
Why
It
has he
talks
got
about
that
the
mirror,
magic.
that
It's all about the magic we don't see. That's why it's been left for us. But atheists and all that think they know better because they're ignorant.
Well, we
The
know
human
that
race
they're
is
the
very
same
ignorant.
pole of
They don't
same
understand.
poles, and that's why they do that. We know
You
that.
see,
But he's saying it's magic.
in religion, religious text doesn't come out and tell you the full story because it's part of the meaning to life. You have to search the truth
40
out
42 is the meaning of life.
to get the reward, to win the prize. If you're not in the right place psychologically, you don't deserve it. You'll just die and reincarnate and have to go through it all over again. So the purpose of life is to wake up a part of the brain that's not awake in the physical birth. It's a spiritual awakening. Once you have that spiritual awakening, you win the prize. You don't have to reincarnate. You have choices. But you'll come back as something like a bird or something of a higher, from a higher species, not a dumb fish. If you're really ignorant, you'll come back as a dumb fish. But this is where you get eternal life from. You go.
Anyone
Lindsay
want
will be a sardine.
I was just going
Lindsay's going to come back as a sardine.
Yeah, I know. You're going the same place as I was thinking.
Sardines.
Yeah, what are you going to come back as, Lindsay? Not a higher life form, that's for sure.
Go on. When you come back, you'll know, you have that memory. You've woken up that part of the brain. But if you don't wake up, you just come back and have to go through it all over again. So it's all about the non-physical. See, it's an inward. They talk about the inward show. Humans are all ego and outward show. Ignoring this non-physical.
Marker pen
Which makes them ignorant.
Around that magnet.
They think they know everything. They know nothing. So it's not all about what exactly you're doing here. This is just temporary here on Earth.
Well,
It's what happens after and what happens
He's forgetting he's not talking with his fingers now.
before. It's where you go to after your physical
Lindsay would be a cane toad.
time on Earth. So, you have it. Funny, isn't it? So this southern field turns all the way around the northern hemisphere. 24/7. And people can't get their head around about the expansion out south here. It's just too much for them. But in celestial navigation, they explain that the longitudes, it's on the flat map, start from the centre and pan out, just like the times on a clock. It gets bigger out here, but this degree out here is equal to back in there. That time, just that movement from there to there is the same movement from there to there, like on a clock. There's no different.
Does he not understand
That's
how
the longitude.
circles work?
No.
But then you just have to imagine, there's the arc. It's equal, from there to there is the same. So you work on a circle. No matter where you are, it's a circle from the north to the south. and see how it comes together at the top here, the south, where they meet. It's where they meet, and this is what happens at the south. In the south, same thing. It comes to that point. You have to try and imagine that. Your arc of horizon. It's all about your arc. Wherever you are on Earth, you have your arc of horizon, and it's all relative to you. And it all comes back to this point, or thereabouts, because we don't go right into the centre of the north, into the Arctic Circle. There's a gap. We cannot get in there. Place of inaccessibility we don't get to. So there's a certain circumference, and that certain circumference is around here. That's south as well. So there's always that slight discrepancy between this point here, this point, and someone else's further around. But it all ends up just the same back here. It's the same as the north. So that's a real hard one for people to get their heads around. There, you got this point touching here. That's the same. It happens out here. So, what more can I say? So these are opposing forces. North and the south are exactly the same. You take your compass, exact same compass, not a northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere compass, just one compass, go up there. If it's a dip compass, not a normal
what
compass, it's balance and stuff. The old ones, they'll point straight down into the ground. You go down south, it'll point straight down to the ground. Or, not sure if the compass can tilt. But anyway, they're both exactly the same. They'll point down and point down. So the south, one end of the compass will point down, exactly the same as down here. So whether it's north or south, I don't know.
Assuming we're going to talk about one end of the needle, one end would point down at one pole, and then it would point up at the other pole.
Yeah, but
Seeing as though it's going to follow the field lines.
Yeah.
In the same direction.
But I don't know if a compass that points vertically.
Same. But then you go to the tropics, go to the equator, it'll spin the other way, straight up. That's the old dip compass. But the modern ones now will be level, dead level, because at the equator is exactly the same between south and north. That's the one point on Earth where it point dead north and dead south. Otherwise they'll follow the magnetic field lines that curve. See, this, it's like a magnet. They'll curve out, swing out, and this will swing out. So if you're using a compass to travel, you're going to go on that big arc. You don't want to follow a compass. You want a gyro that's set to north. It'll take in a straight line, or celestial navigation.
A gyro compass won't work on your flat stationary Earth, you nuts.
Two opposing forces.
They only work because it's a sphere that's rotating.
This field in here is getting sucked back into there. So
we'll have to get Bob on doing how a gyro compass works.
As you've got. Okay. So these two,
15 degrees per hour
are opposing.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But this one is the opposite. So they'll be attracted to that one. And that's what you have. There we go.
How many speakers has he pulled
So
apart?
this
Oh my
field
God.
over there,
Has he got a
this is the
broken
Southern
bit
Ocean,
like I've got down in the shed?
it shoots back down to the tropics. It's the field there, and it shoots back down to the tropics. This is what's happening on Earth.
Oh,
The southern field
no, he's got a bar
races to
magnet.
the tropics. Comes out of there, over into the tropics. Comes out of the north, into the tropics.
But
Goes
it
down
doesn't.
through the
Lindsay.
ground.
It measurably
back.
doesn't. That's not what happens in the tropics, Lindsay. I don't know whether you're aware of the actual facts, Lindsay, but the magnetic field of the Earth doesn't do that in the tropics, Lindsay.
I thought he did it in the equator.
I mean, at that point on the surface, the magnetic field lines are pretty close to being parallel with the surface, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fritz says, his daughter wakes up and says, Dad, don't take the microwave apart. Now these magnets are out of a speaker, Fred.
Back up, opposite ends. It comes over, down, through the Earth, and shoots opposite, goes negative, because it goes negative through the Earth. So when the current goes from positive to negative, it shoots in the opposite direction. So it comes over, goes down through the Earth, shoots in the opposite direction, and comes back up here again.
What's he talking
Shoots
about?
over
Electric
there,
currents and he's fiddling with magnets.
Yeah.
I mean, he's talking about currents, electric currents, and he's mucking around with magnets. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I think he thinks I think he almost thinks he can randomly interchange electric
Magnetic
current
fields and electric currents. Yeah.
Yes.
down to the Earth, shoots negative that way, and then comes back up here again.
And he keeps having negative magnetic fields. How can you have
No.
a negative
There's your
magnetic
field.
field?
It's south to the tropics on the northern side. They come each side of the equator, northern side. This is what the tropics is all about, that gap. That's why it's there on our maps. It's been there for thousands of years.
Which map shows a gap in the tropics? And a gap in what?
Now it's been there for thousands of years in the maps.
Yeah,
Because they know
well, as
it's
I
the
just said,
opposite.
things you can't even circle, can he?
Yeah. You can't even map either.
It's just-
That is the, you could say that's the northern field. South, south, north. Two opposing forces. You have to have this like this configuration to get things moving. Because this field will shoot this way, it's shooting that way. This is what keeps the whole system moving. Otherwise, nothing's happening here. Where's the movement? Nothing's flowing. It's not attracted to there. It's not attracted. It's not attracted.
Pause.
Nothing's flowing.
He goes, this is not attracted, and he goes, and the magnet goes bonk, and joins on.
No, that's not attractive.
Oh my God. No, as it picks up the other magnet.
Yeah.
And the electrons till you bring in the third entity. To shake it up a bit, get the system going. That's how it works.
All he needs is another magnet that's in the off camera to come shooting across and join onto it.
Look at that, eh? I mean, humans can accept this.
I think he's just a big kid who's never played with magnets.
Yeah.
But they don't understand
Come on,
religion.
playing with magnets is fun, but you know,
Yeah.
there's a time and a place.
Yeah.
They don't understand the God part of it. God, Father. The Father is the creator, the black hole. Creates all this. The sun. On the horizon of the black hole is the sun. So you've got the Father and the Son. And when it comes to the Holy Spirit, it's whatever's this magic invisible field in
Surely
here.
the Holy Spirit would be the black hole.
Yeah, because it'd be holy, yeah.
Yeah.
What is the black
That's
hole
what-
created?
The black Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
It's created life.
Trying to help you, Lindsay.
It's not physical. It's not real. It's all consciousness. Our world is like a dream, but we're all connected. So all the dreams are connected because we're all feeding off the same field, the same magnetic field, the same energy field. Think about it. Look it at yourselves. Find out where magnetic dip is, and then go and measure this gap between the two.
Oh, so
You'll
he wants
find
us
it
to go and
adds up
pull
to the
apart
same gap we
speakers
get
to
at the
get
celestial
magnets.
equator,
Okay.
tropical zone. And everything above, it's the saying, as above, so below. Earth is created from above. Nothing above us is physical either. It's all a projection. Nothing is physical. All the celestial bodies are projections from the centre, unseen. The magnetic field we do not see. A place like that. We only see these celestial bodies as they form their skin. It's coming into the world, becoming physical, then going back out. And what do? We come into this world physical, we go back out, unseen, then come back in physical, go out unseen, come back in physical. This is what planets are doing, the phasing. It's above, so below, but everything's opposite or inverted.
He didn't go where
Like
I thought
everything
he
in
was going to go with that.
In the centre, the tree of the centre of the garden, the tree of life. It's unseen, but it's all vertical. But we sit out in our realm horizontal. The Milky Way sits in there vertical. Even the planets and the sun all sit in a pyramid shape, a cone shape, vertical. But we see them basically squashed down and out horizontal in our realm. And then you have to realise
How does it get like that, Lindsay?
a dual system magnetic field like this has one electrical system in the middle. That's our electrical system there in the tropics. Two magnetic fields create an electrical system in its centre. And like a magnet, you break it down again, so you've got a magnetic field out here, break it down. What do we have in the centre? An electrical system. 45 degrees south, 45 degrees north is another minor electrical system. Where they get the tornadoes and all that. And out south, the roaring 40s, or even up north, the roaring 40s they call it. Magic. Woo, woohoo, oh, woohoo,
Oh no.
ooh. Understanding the meaning to life.
Quid, I tell you.
He's not completely there.
It's not about the
He's
physical
not
world.
playing off a full deck, is he?
It's non-physical. But it's woohoo. It's woohoo. Oh. Flat earthers. Oh, woohoo. Crazy people. Oh. Oh, there's nothing dumber than someone who thinks he lives on a spinning ball, I tell you.
That was it.
Yeah.
I think I timed that just right.
Yeah, I think you did. I don't think he could have
That
got any
was
more
something.
derpier than at the end. Well, did he deliberately wear a jumper to match his carpet? Yeah.
That was pretty special.
Yeah. And to think I wasn't going to actually play that one because it didn't look like it was going to be interesting.
I just have to recover from that.
Yeah. Oh, you.
Yeah. Excuse me while I go get the vodka.
Well, you can do that, but I've got to go and get a coffee. Okay, I'll try and get that out of the road. Don't need you anymore. We're all dumber for having listened to that. Yeah, but I think our intelligence can handle it, Fred.
Yeah. Dark Steve, that was my daughter that came in and asked me that. While I was talking, who was I talking to? Travis. I was talking to Travis on the Jose After Show. And my daughter came in the front door, and the first thing she said to me was,
"Are you talking to retard?"
and the answer was, yes, of course I am.
Yeah, but then when she found out you could have been talking to me, she didn't say that again, did she?
No, I can't remember if you were you there or not, Terry. I can't remember.
I was around. I was around.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get my coffee. Paul's probably got some questions lined up when he's ready. I've got
I do.
2 videos left. I've got Simon's Flat Earthers Have to Be Stopped, and I've got Wally doing a level observer throwback Thursday file. That's a throw. It must be a throwback. That one. I did have. Yeah, I was going to play where I was on a Discord last night, but I can't find it if it was recorded, so it might have been an after show, so I missed out on that. I would have played that a bit. Then you could have heard the questions I was being asked from Bev and a few other people. I think Don Geo, and I think it was SE Montreal too, with his double hump problem. He thought he'd throw that one in on me again. I thought it was during an Aussie Perspective stream.
No, it was definitely a Jose After Show.
It was definitely a Jose after show.
Because Big Blue and Dr. Bob were there as well, weren't they? In fact, you can hear them both. If I play the full length one, you can hear them both laugh.
Yeah, I know I was around. I just don't know where I was.
Horizontal.
That was back in the day you were doing ASMR, or was that after that?
That was kind of back in the day when I had to do ASMR at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. I think we've been streaming for a while, and it was Coriolis. That's what we were all talking about, and we just shown Travis the what's his the Scott guy who's who always wears a red t-shirt. He'd been somewhere and they'd done the throwing the stuff across the room, and had an enclosed room that was spinning round to show the Coriolis thing. We showed him the video, which is everything he'd asked for, and he just denied it. And that was when Rosie walked in and said,
I'd play piano while Paul's doing that, but I haven't got a piano.
Oh, you want me to play some piano?
I was going to say, how can you play piano with one hand, two hands while you're getting things ready with the other hand?
Oh, I can play piano, seeing as I'm not getting a coffee ready.
Yeah, I know you got a can there. It's easier.
I'll have to put the can down though.
Oh, okay. I mean, I've got beer, but I'm not drinking beer at this time of night.
10 points, whoever can guess what the tune is.
Everyone was well behaved, Carl, when I was having that discussion with him. There was no insults, no whatevers, no swearing, no yelling, no talking over. Oh, okay, he's jealous of anyone with a high school diploma. Well, I got a year 10 certificate. Is that close enough? Steve said, I bet you get all the ladies with fingers like that. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it is, Carl. I've got no idea. I've always thought the piano is a bit plinkety. What do you mean, Clive, plinkety? I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult from Clive. Well, he's just started playing Dora about a couple of minutes ago. Oh, you mean when did he first start learning to play?
About 10 years ago.
About 10 years ago.
There you go.
Oh, thank
That's
you.
your tune.
Yeah. I even remember the piano we had was the upright, those rectangle upright type ones with the lid on top. Those type.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I wish I had a grand piano, but I don't.
You could fit that in your room, in the lounge room there.
Right. So you want some questions, hey?
Mm.
Let's get some things up and going. Then I'll get the chat up. Right, I've got both chats up. Get my screen out.
Oh, I had to change my batteries.
Yeah. And Alan must remember to type in the right chat now, mustn't he? So nobody try and make Alan type in the side chat.
All right. Are you ready for the hard quiz? Same as usual. You get a list of clues with a picture at the end and then the answer. Okay, question 1. One of this man's houses was first to be decorated in a painting style typified by white backgrounds and illusionistic architectural frames. So we're talking about a particular person here.
It's not that person.
No, a lot older than that, Terry. A lot older.
Okay.
Yeah.
First clue, first guess.
Yeah. He supposedly said, "Now I can begin to live like a human being," upon a completion of a palace sporting walls with embedded gems. Not Escher, not William Shakespeare. No.
Keep the peanuts out of the Discord. Why, who's over in the Discord?
Okay, third clue. This man built a palace to connect estates on the Palatine and Esquiline hills that was thus called Transitoria.
If it's one of those Greek name people, I'm not going to get it.
Oh, we have a correct answer in the internal chat.
Oh, Alan.
We just got to wait for the peanuts to get it.
Oh, Alan.
Yeah. Alan. Well done, Alan. Yes, he was Italian. You're right, Carl. A painter named Famulus crystallized fourth style painting while working for this man.
No, they're still not getting him yet out there.
No, still not getting him. All right, another clue. Two of this man's palaces were the first to use, I can't read that.
Extensive barrel vaulting and...
Yep, and domes in brick-faced concrete, spurring the Roman architectural revolution. Not Gluteus Maximus, not the Pope. Raphael's ceiling for the Stanza della Segnatura was inspired by a visit to this man's palace. Not Medici. Yes, Carl. Oh, that guy. Yeah. not Biggest Brickers.
Steve says, "Okay, I'm ready. You can restart."
Righto. He's not a Flavian, but the name Colosseum comes from the 100-foot bronze statue of himself that his emperor put in front of this palace. the Domus Aurea. And we finally have it. Clive Wells, well done, with Nero. You are correct, Nero. The emperor who rebuilt much of Rome after the 64 AD Great Fire was Nero. Finally. Good.
I knew who
At
he
least
was.
you got it. Yeah.
I knew who he was, but I think it's something else that I'm remembering him from some other event or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, question 2. It's not Port of Spain, but John Lennon and Yoko Ono exchanged a bag of their shorn hair for a bloody pair of Muhammad Ali's shorts in a bizarre publicity stunt intended to raise money for a communal house operated here by Michael X. We're talking about a place, a particular location.
How do you get Fleetwood Mac out of that, John?
Okay. Second clue. The editor of a popular gazette in this city, Claudia Jones, founded an annual carnival that has become one of the world's largest street festivals.
Any place that I can think of.
Not Havana, not Rio de Janeiro, not New York.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Rio de Janeiro.
This city's police force was found to be institutionally racist in a 1998 report ordered after the stabbing of Stephen Lawrence at a bus stop. Not Brazil, but the answer has gone off in the internal chat.
Really?
Again,
that
again
obvious.
by Alan. Yes.
Yeah, well, that last one was a bit easy.
Not Orleans, not New Orleans, not Rio. Another clue. Members of the Teddy Boys subculture. I'm missing that.
Our subculture attacked this city's immigrant community in a 1958 riot, and a 1981 riot here prompted the Scarman Report.
Yes. And yes, we do have it again with Clive Wells. Well done. London. Alan and Clive again. London.
Well, it is my home city, Paul.
Yeah. And for your final clues, in case you didn't get it, Louis Bennett coined the term colonisation in reverse to describe the wave of immigration to this city after the Empire Windrush docked here. And if you didn't get that, you would have got it with the Brixton riots and the Notting Hill riots, surely.
Yeah. Well,
and the picture would have been a dead giveaway.
Now I know which one it is, Paul.
Yeah.
Brixton riots, the 1981 ones, I believe.
Yeah. Okay, so we have had 2 questions go off. They're not that hard, hey? Okay, question 3. It's not conservation of energy, but considering the radiation reaction force in the context of this statement creates an apparent paradox that is resolved by noting that a local observer sees the normal Coulomb electric field distorted by tidal forces, plus a small, nearly constant electric field. What the hell are we talking about?
Yeah, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, this is a difficult one. This is for the scientist folk out there.
Which part, Steve?
The microscope experiment confirmed this statement to a precision of 10 to the minus 15, while the lunar laser ranging experiment supported it by measuring a value of 0 for the Nordtvedt parameter.
Oh.
Not the EM drive thingy. No. Not ion propulsion. No.
Wait till Blue catches up. He might know what it is.
Okay. Not the double slit paradox. No.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Deviations from this statement can be quantified by a parameter denoted by either eta or lowercase delta, followed by a comma b in parenthesis, where a and b are two test materials. That parameter is named for Laurent Utversh, who tested the weak form of this statement in 1885 using a torsion balance. Not the pressure of light, no. Not the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, but John Rapp, you have one of the words right. It is a principle. What physical principle equates gravitational mass and inertial mass and states that motion in curved space-time due to gravity is indistinguishable from acceleration in flat space-time? Come on, this is the giveaway. Not the uncertainty principle. Viagra, no.
The clue that tested the weak form of this statement in 1885 using a torsion balance was a clue to me, and I'm thinking, okay, it can't be that.
Clive Wells has it. Well done, Clive. It is the equivalence principle. The equivalence of acceleration and gravity.
Yeah, see, I knew gravity had something to do with it, but not the answer part.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well done, Clive. 3 for 3.
Hey,
Question
Blue.
4.
Hey, Blue. Let's say good day to Blue before we go any further.
Yeah.
G'day, Blue.
G'day, mate.
Howdy. Question 4. In the early 20th century, a large repertoire of instrumental music from this country was recorded by James Scott Skinner. So we're after a country here.
Okay.
Clive pronounced it wrong. I heard him. Yeah.
You got good ears, John.
Not hungry. Not hungry, Dora. This country was the namesake of a 2/4-time dance, 3 of which were published posthumously in Chopin's Opus 72.
Namesake.
Not Australia, not Mexico. Not Poland.
No.
We have a correct answer out in the peanuts.
I was thinking of something else.
It's not Italy, but a dance rhythm from this country consists of an accented short note followed by a longer dotted note. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, it's not what I thought. Because I was going to type in.
Yeah, we're getting the right answers coming in the peanut.
I know.
Now. An instrument from this country is tuned in A mixolydian with an extra low G and a very flat C sharp.
I don't know why this came to me mind, but I don't know if I spelt that right. But anyway, when you said a country, I'm thinking that I thought of that.
Yeah. This one would have given it away to you. An instrument from this country usually has 2 tenor drones and a bass drone on A with 9-note chanter. Yep, it's definitely Scotland. Pipe bands are composed of drummers and bagpipes. It is Scotland. Well done.
Who got that?
Who got it first? It was... Yeah.
Oh, Steve, yes.
Yeah, Steve, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Question 5. Norbert Wiener's novel, The Tempter, was inspired by the historical conflict between the scientist who suggested the use of inductive loading on these devices and Michael Pupin, who stole the idea. So we're talking about a device.
And especially with that certain word in there too. That might be it's a clue.
Your second part of the clue is, in these devices, an undesirable increased voltage that is proportional to the frequency squared times the device length squared can occur in the Ferranti effect.
Alan should know this. I'm giving you credit. Alan should know it.
Not the telephone, John. Not the telephone. Not an inductor, Alan. Okay. For a single phase, two-part example of these devices, the expression pi times epsilon 0 divided by the natural logarithm of d over r, where d is the distance between the parts and r is their radius, gives the shunt capacitance. Not a Jacob's ladder. The Galvanator 9000. No.
A turbo encabulator either.
Yeah. Not a motor, not nipple clamps either. Not a waveguide.
They try.
No. These devices are often bundled together to reduce energy loss through the corona effect.
Okay, they're bundled together usually.
Not resistors. No.
Come on, Alan, what's something that's bundled together in
All right.
electrical? Besides wires.
Mechanical weights are sometimes placed on these devices to help keep them from galloping. Not a stepper motor. Not a ray gun. Not an ECG machine. Or in Glyle's case, an egg machine. Oh, yes, we have a correct answer in the internal chat.
Oh, that's simple.
A pair of equations governing ideal examples of these devices was derived by Oliver Heaviside and is known as the telegrapher's equations. Not the ray gun, not spark plugs, not inductors, not horses, Dark Steve. Twisted pair and coaxial are types of watt devices that carry electrical power over long distances.
Ah, that's the clue that gave it away.
That's the one that gave it away. Who's going to get it first in the peanuts?
Yeah. A flux capacitor.
Not a flux capacitor. Not the governor, not a speaker. Cables, what kind of cables?
Carl? Well, Carl's close.
Yeah.
Door is close.
That's the right answer, yes. Transmission lines was the correct answer. Well done, Blue.
Although I agree with Blue, at very high frequencies, waveguides.
Yeah.
Because you might as well empty the middle out because you ain't going to use any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that center part doesn't do you much good, does it?
No.
Okay. Question 6. As he observes these animals in battle, the speaker of a poem notes that these storms of passion, these conflicts so fierce, by the tossing of a little dust are quelled and laid to rest. What animals is he talking about? Not bulls, Alan. No. Not ants. Strippers. No. Chocolate mousse. No. The only extended simile in Works and Days compares idleness to the behaviour of one type of these animals. Not pigeons, not flirts. In the Homeric hymn to Hermes, Apollo tells the young god that he can acquire the gift of prophecy from these goddesses described as these animals. Not bears, not grasshoppers, not praying mantises, not tortoises, not bears. Okay. The fourth book of a poem relates that Jupiter blessed these animals for feeding him in Dites cave. Not sloths, not the aardvarks. Eric the aardvark. Not grasshoppers or hares. Not wolves or cats. No. We've got a lot of answers, but none
We've
of
got
them
a
are
lot of
correct
animals
so
to
far.
go through.
Yeah. Ancient depictions of these animals sometimes describe them being spontaneously generated from the corpses of cattle in a process called begonia. Not cows, not goats, not flies, but that's close. Not maggots. The various Greek tribes are compared to groups of these animals emerging from rocks in the very first Homeric simile of the Iliad. And Virgil's second simile in the Aeneid describes the Tyrians building Carthage as akin to these animals. We do have a correct answer in the peanuts. Carl Edwards. Name these animals kept by Aristaeus in the Georgics, whose last section concerns the restoration of their hives. And there's your clue, picture clue. If you can't get it from that, it is bees.
So Carl
Well done,
be right.
Clyde.
Carl be right. Yep. We were all going so big, but we didn't think small.
Okay, question 7. Some of these devices are manufactured in a probe configuration with a flat field collimator to protect against mechanical damage. Now, I know that's probably not going to give you much of a clue, so we'll go straight on to the second one. They're not calorimeters, but materials used in these devices can be characterized by their Moliere radius. Not lasers, Alan. No. One type of these devices used with gaseous samples contains a chamber coated with a silver-doped zinc sulfide and is known as a Lucas cell. Not a telescope. Not a dildo. Not X-ray machines. Flashlights. No. Multiple common Compton scattering events in these devices that deposit less than the maximum energy in their active regions will produce a continuous distribution on a pulse height spectrum. Not electron microscopes, not thermometers. No, not a battery. Examples of these devices that consist of crystals of thallium-doped sodium iodide or bismuth germinate, coupled to photodiodes or photomultiplier tubes are used as coincident detectors in PET scans. Not a gas chromatograph or a CRT. Not a mass spectrometer. Name these counters which use namesake materials that measure ionizing radiation by absorbing the radiation and re-emitting visible light. Not Geiger counter. Big Blue has it correct in the internal chat. Well done, Blue.
No, I wouldn't have got
Night
that.
vision glasses.
Yeah, I wouldn't
No.
have got that one.
Yeah, this is a tough one, this one. You would have got it from that, though. It is a scintillation counter. I think Clive Wells has the closest answer.
We've
There.
we've done these before, haven't we? I remember.
We have. Yep.
I don't remember this one.
That was a tough one. I did put that one in there for the people who thought the quiz was going to be easy.
That was scintillating.
Yeah. Question 8. Lucomba et al. Found that structures built by these animals are fractal because of their attraction to residual chiromones. So we're talking about a particular animal again. Not an ant. Not termites. Females in one species in this family lack corpora lutea and pre-ovulatory follicles due to decreased secretion of luteinizing hormone from the pituitary gland, caused by physiological stress induced by urine exposure. In other words, they can't produce female cells because someone pissed on them. Not termites, not termites, not ants, not bees, no, not seashells, not termites. Okay. The aridity food distribution hypothesis describes the behavior of these animals due to their bonanza feeding style on tubers in mesic and xeric regions. Of course, that's going to give it away. Not.
Yeah, right.
Not wasps. Not wasps. No. Okay. Some species in this family have relatedness of over 0.8 to other colony members due to inbreeding, which is not practiced by the Damaraland type. Not tortoises, not flurfs, although that would explain their lack of intelligence, the inbreeding. Big Blue, can you do this in English? Not rabbits, not rabbits. You're close, Carl Edwards, but you're not quite right. Because they lack substance P, these vertebrates are incapable of sensing capsaicin or acid. Carl Edwards almost has it right, but not quite.
Vertebrates. Yeah.
Burrows are occupied by multiple generations of these rodents, who are divided into castes of soldiers and tunnelers with a breeding queen. Not bees again. Come on, look at Carl's answer and expand on it.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I know what they don't do. Are they the animals that don't go running off a cliff?
No. Name these only eusocial animals, a family of social burrowing rodents in East Africa that includes a blind, hairless, and a naked variety. Not ferrets.
Oh, the blind thing's got me. is me
Now, if you combine Fred Knott's answer with Carl's previous answer, you get the correct answer, which Clive Wells did, and he got mole rats. Mole rats is the correct answer. Yes, and it looks like a penis with teeth.
Where's Wally's out in the peanuts having a go?
Yeah, good. Yep, the answer was mole rats. Last two questions. Second last question, question 9. Roland Lewis was the first to note that this document opens by copying a formula from William West's Symbolographia. So it's a particular document we're after here. Okay. This document includes a recommendation to purchase a mourning ring for William Reynolds, the son of recusant parents who had been fined for sheltering a Jesuit, in a passage sometimes held to reveal hidden Catholic sentiment on the part of the author. Not the Declaration of Independence. No.
Good guess, wrong question.
All right. Thomas Quinney's name was removed from the second draft of this document, perhaps because of the revelation that he impregnated Margaret Wheeler, who died in childbirth. Not To Kill a Mockingbird, no. Not the Magna Carta. The words Brown Best appear in the first publication of this document, 1763's Biographia Britannica, instead of the later accepted transcription.
Blue wanted to know what a mole rat is.
Yeah.
That's a rat that looks like a mole.
Peter Ackroyd addressed outrage at the most notorious stipulation of this document by arguing that dower law would have already guaranteed the spouse a third of the estate in question. Not the Magna Carta. No. Not the English Bill of Rights. No. What document offers the author's second best bed to Anne Hathaway?
Oh, this is getting so close to working it out with the clue.
We do have a correct answer in the internal chat, finally.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, that's not where I was going.
We just need a correct answer from the Peanuts. And we do finally have it, with Spooky Bedhair coming up with the goods this time.
Yay, Spooky.
It is Shakespeare's Will. Yes. Well done. I was thinking that one might not go off, but yes. We've had all the questions answered so far. All right, last question.
Huh?
This is supposed to be question 10, not question 1.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Yeah, I just forgot to put the 0 in there.
Okay.
Right. A passenger preparing to receive one of these objects feels sunlight on water rinsing through his eyes and dissolving all around him in a poem by Cathy Song, whose debut collection examines the role that these things played in bringing together her Chinese-American grandfather and her Korean immigrant grandmother. So talking about a particular kind of object. In Sylvia Plath's... What, Alan?
Sorry, I just saw Dora's answer.
The peanuts. The peanuts get a bit, you know what?
No. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No.
You know, you got to keep an eye on these peanuts.
Yeah. In Sylvia Plath's poem Tulips, little smiling hooks jut out from one of these objects and catch on to the speaker's skin. Not a lampshade, not finger locks, not Chinese finger cuffs. No. Okay. The speaker of a poem from the volume of The Circle Game notes that in one of these objects, it is difficult to say where precisely or to say how large or small she is, but promises that if you look long enough, eventually you will be able to see me. Not some sort of Velcro in plants, no. Key to the chastity belt. No, not a lantern. A little girl peruses a set of these things depicting a dead man slung on a pole and the inside of a volcano, black and full of ashes, in Elizabeth Bishop's In the Waiting Room. What are these objects? Not a kaleidoscope.
Oh shit! I was
Not
about to type
tentacles.
that. I was just about to type that, Carl. Now I've got to think of something else. Took me all that time.
Your last worded clue before the picture. The speaker of an oft anthologized Margaret Atwood poem describes what type of object that was taken the day after she drowned. Good. Alan. Well done, Alan. Alan has it in the internal chat.
How'd you get that out of that?
And well done to Carl Edwards in the Peanuts with a photograph.
Yeah, where'd you get that clue from, Alan, to get the answer?
The correct answer was photographs. There you go. That was the 10-question hard quiz. All of the questions of which you guys answered. So it can't have been that hard.
I reckon Alan cheated on the last one.
There you go.
Hey, Blue, you got the same amount right that I did.
How many is that?
Same amount as Blue did. Oh, no, I got less than Blue then?
I was going to say, Blue got at least one right.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got less than
Sure
Blue then.
did.
I got power lines and scintillation right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, I got less than you.
But I started late. I started halfway through. So I could extrapolate to say I got 4 right,
Okay.
of course.
You just wanted to miss out on Lindsay, didn't you?
Overslept.
He was on the floor playing with these magnets.
Oh, no.
You've all seen something that your child has written and thought, hell, that's funny, right?
Yeah.
Well, here you go. Funny children's spelling. E is for elephant. My elephant likes to eat penis and eat nuts and sit by me. I think he meant to say peanuts. I will miss you, hoes, Timmy.
Oh, Timmy.
Timmy knows what life's about already. Yeah. T is for tits, apparently. Tights.
Close. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Sticker story. Whores. I like whores. Whores have other whores friends. Whores like carrots. You wouldn't think they could, but they can put their legs straight up. Whores make you feel good. My dad wants a horse, but my mum says no. When I am 16, I will buy my own horse. It's just so funny on so many levels.
Yes, it
oh
is.
Lord.
It's not just the misspelling the sentences too.
Well, at least the handwriting's neat.
Yeah. Mm. 1 + 1 = 2. I like Mrs. Edwards. She is my teacher. I like her. She does meth with us. Dear Mum, please stop burping up poop on my bed. I have no idea what that's supposed to be. I enjoy the biatch. Today is Thursday, May the 5th, 2011. I like HRD penis.
Herd penis. Yeah.
Herd penis. I have no idea what that's supposed to be. I'm sorry for touching your balls. Tomorrow I am not going to be here because I am going to be in vagina. I think that's probably meant to be Virginia.
I think they spelt that Virginia wrong so many times.
I think so, yeah. Yeah. Mum will be so proud I got Timmy to sleep.
That should do it.
That should do it. That'll shut him up. My daddy really loves sugar. He even eat it up in this. He even eat it with his nose.
Oh,
Oh.
boy. Oh boy.
Oh boy. Yeah. Uh-oh. Go, Dad. Sometimes I can hear Daddy and bitch wrestling. I can tell he's winning because of the sounds she makes. Oh dear. Yeah. Sometimes Dad has his friend over. That's when I have fun because they go in his room and I can do whatever I want. I can even eat candy. Oh dear. I am a blue dinosaur. My name is Dick.
It's a fly. It's a flying dinosaur.
no.
It's a flying dinosaur.
Obviously, yeah. That's unfortunate. Dear Valerie, get out of my life. Oh dear. My brother just drenched me with his water gun.
Well, he seemed happy about it.
Yeah, I feel happy when I get hot cocklet. Pan, dog, shit.
It's not a misspelling either.
It could be. I mean, it could have been.
Yeah.
Give the kid a break.
Yeah. I like this one too. Abraham Lincoln. That was it. There you go. That should have relieved your tension about the hard quiz.
Oh. Get rid of that. Hey Wally, I got a video here of yours that you just uploaded. If you're still out there. You got nothing for us, Blue, have you? No, that's right. You said you weren't ready yet. What else have I got? Oh, I've got one here ready to go. The Simon Dan one. Yeah, if only that Try Thinking was recorded when I was over on their Discord getting grilled by the Flurfers, Blue, I would have played a bit of it. Had Bev on there, had Don Gio, had SC Montreal, and a few others. They're all asking me questions, not at the same time. Some of their questions were confusing, trying to figure out what they meant.
I'm thinking Bev might be a legitimate candidate for DFOTY.
No, we don't have the DFOTY here, do we? We have the FDDA.
Oh dear.
I think Wally's is pretty quick, so we'll... Oh no, it still goes for 7 minutes, that one. And then we'll do...
You know what we could have here, Terry?
Hey, where?
We could take nominations for who's... We could take nominations for who's going to be Lindsay's assistant.
Gary said he was listening to the show yesterday, and that Terry sounded almost like a flat earther. I don't know if that's a compliment. Was that a compliment or an insult? Yeah, fair dinkum drongo. Now you could take that two ways. If I sound like a flat earther, does that mean I didn't answer questions, but I answered a question with a question? Or I didn't know the answer to the question. But then again, flat earthers don't admit they don't know answers to questions. So,
And they just make them up.
and I didn't make up.
No,
I didn't
mate.
make up any answers. So, okay, Gary, I think you might have needed to elaborate on that one. You nominate Brian Leake. What about Brian Mabbott? Well, I've got either Level Earth Observer from Wally or Simon Dan. That's your choice.
Level Earth Observer from Wally.
That's your choice. You sounded very unsure about your ball. What ball? I haven't got a ball. What, soccer ball? Tennis ball? Cricket ball?
Basketball.
Ping pong ball?
Football.
Uh,
Rugby ball.
Yeah, there's a lot of balls. A lot of balls. Exercise ball.
But Nora, Brian Blessed is the king of Brians.
I agree with No Name. It's a toss up between Mabbott and Leakey.
Oh, okay. Flip a coin.
Yeah.
Oh, better move that out of the road.
In the worst internet troll category, Wybinger ought to be in there.
Gary, was he always on people's side chats all through the YouTubes? I see him in all sorts of places.
I don't think anybody will let him on their channel anymore. Yeah.
Well, he doesn't play nice with others. What do you got here? You'll need that. And that. There we go. I don't know where Wally went. Where's Wally?
G'day everybody, where's Wally here? I thought I'd have just a quick little dive back into the archive and see what Adam was up to, say, 14 months ago. And wouldn't you know it, it doesn't seem like he's learned anything in the last 14 months. Let's have a look at how well past Wally dealt with past Adam. Thanks guys, enjoy this little flashback into the past. Well, speaking of learning, here's the guy who doesn't learn, Level Earth Observer. I did look at some of his old videos and it's really just embarrassing. He's looking at the SR-71.
Top speed was 2,193 miles an hour approximately. Essentially every 60 minutes, according to the Globe Mathematics, the SR-71 would have encountered 566 miles of curve.
566 miles of curve, I'm not sure where that comes from.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's placing a digit in one of his fundamental orifices and extracting the figures from there. Makes about as much sense as what he's saying.
I've got very basic understanding, so you might have to bear with me.
And every second 831 feet. Well, to drop 831 feet while going forward, that's about a 15-degree angle at the speed that thing's travelling. Here, look, I'll throw up a triangle calculator. Does it make sense now?
I've got very basic understanding, so you might have to bear with me. Yet strangely enough, when we look at the acceleration of gravity, it only goes up to 80,000 feet. But that's good enough for us. The higher you get, the slower it becomes, okay? So at 80,000 feet, it's 9.5 meters a second, the acceleration of gravity, okay?
It really does sound like Ducky has a solid understanding of acceleration, doesn't it?
I've got very basic understanding, so you might have to bear with me. Which essentially translates just over 30 feet. Okay? And yet the SR-71, to be on a globe, needs to drop at 831 feet per second.
Hold on there, genius. Because the plane is in level flight, lift and gravity are balanced, dude, so you don't even need to worry about that.
I've got very basic understanding, so you might have to bear with me.
Oh, and Ducky, I heard you today in your little rant about debates, and you say, just bring me some demonstrable proof. Well, Brian Schul took photos from up high in the SR-71, and just have a look at this. And if I rotate it and do a little bit of a Rory on it, man, isn't that just a beautiful example of curvature taken from up high?
I've got very basic understanding, so you might have to bear with me.
The day the flat earth died, bye bye, now there's no more that guy. Took away his Wally, then he ran off to cry. He tried to prove flat earth, but got a poke in the eye. Sobbing, I watched the flat earth die. I watched the flat earth just die. The day the flat earth died. Bye bye, now there's no more that guy. Took away his Wally, then he ran off to cry. Tried to prove a flat earth, but got a poke in the eye. Sobbing, I watched the flat earth die. I watched the flat earth just die.
Module is a typical flag that hangs in the entrances of homes in Japan, and it says Kibo, which is a Japanese word that means hope and gives the laboratory its name. As Hoshide and Karen Nyberg entered into the module, Hoshide held up another sign that said welcome in English and Japanese on one side, and on the other side had a little promotional information for the Japanese Space Agency's astronaut recruitment program that's going on. The entire laboratory is a little less than 37 feet long and about 14 feet wide, and again is going to be the largest that the station has on orbit. It weighed 14.8 tons at launch and has room for 23 racks. But at the moment, only 4 of them are inside because even with just 4, it was so heavy. 8 more are in the logistics module that was brought up on the last shuttle mission, STS-123. They'll be installed during this flight into the main laboratory module here, beginning tonight with the installation of the transfer of the robotic arm workstation for the module. And there's the sign from earlier that again says Kibo in Japanese, hung by Japanese astronaut Aki Hoshide.
Now, Brainery. Don't give anyone any ideas.
Well done, Garrett. Well done. Golf clap.
Yeah, it's cool that watching them do that in their free time anyway. Thanks for that, Wally. Did somebody misbehave out in the peanut gallery?
It's just Gary spamming the chat like he always does.
The statement he made was, say, last year, so to speak, because he's regurgitating stuff that was a long time ago. Golf clap.
Oh, he'll never shut it up. He just continually puts that same stuff in there about me and Dr. Bob.
Why do they keep
Nobody wants
repeating the
to see
same
it.
stuff though, Blue? Like SC with these. Well, first SC was with his Hasselblad, but now he's gone to double hump. Another one with horizontal is level. Another one with that one. You could nearly give titles to a lot of flat earthers of certain trademark things that they're stuck on.
Sorry, Terry, I haven't heard of this double hump you speak of.
Haven't you heard of the double hump from SC?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't communicate with SC anymore because I got fed up with him constantly telling me that I hadn't answered his questions about the Hasselblad.
Okay. Now, I'm not a flurfer, so I can't repeat it verbatim, but I think his hypothesis is if you have two observers looking at each other at a distance, and if the curve of the Earth curves away from you, and then the curve of the Earth curves away from the other person,
yeah,
and they're both standing on each side of the curve, he thinks that's the hump in the middle. But he's double hump. Where did he get the double hump? I don't know. I think I probably asked it up. Yeah, I think I asked that up somehow. But I thought it was a double hump that he was thinking of. I don't know. You'd have to let the flurfers try to explain it.
Well, I've seen SC do that one where the guy looking the two guys both seeing with two different tangents, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, but is it a double hump, or is he saying that there's a hump in the middle or something?
There's no sense to what he's saying.
Oh,
he
Brian,
actually thinks it means something.
It means something.
It doesn't mean anything.
Oh, Brainery said Brian Mabbott tried to bring it in yesterday. Okay, so had Brian Mabbott tried to get cotton onto it, did he? Or maybe flurfers can understand each other's flurf. It's nonsense, I don't know. No, I was getting the flat and horizontal stuff with water levels and all that sort of stuff with Bev yesterday. Oh, last night actually. You had one water level going from point A to point B. Is that horizontal? I go, the object that you're usually using it for will be flat and level. Because I used a spirit level like that, I told him for what I've used it for, to make something level. And then he tried to bring in the other thing about that. I mentioned that Sly did an experiment with over 1,600 metres every 100 metre pipe thing, and he said, would you say that was going to show a hump or whatever? And I go, well, depending if you could see down the line, because that's what Sly had trouble with, actually seeing it. I know he had trouble with leakage and stuff, but I don't know if he's going to repeat it. You're not going to see the hump looking sideways at it, because your field of view's not going to see that distance is away from it you'd have to be able to see left or right to see the curvature of it.
It's really more fun just to listen to, for me, to listen, not to people arguing with the fools. I like it. I like to listen to, like, sometimes I've caught Bev when there's no normal people involved. And just listening to how those guys can misunderstand, and misinterpret everything is hilarious.
Yeah, well, it took me a few seconds. Like, I listened to him ask, or the few of them that were on the voice chat, when they were saying stuff. I'm thinking, how am I going to answer this if I can't understand it properly? I didn't even know what question to come back at him with. I said, if I could visualise what you mean, like do a drawing or something, maybe that might help. But they said, can't you use your imagination? I said, yeah, well, my imagination's not that good. Unless I had some reference to a drawing of some sort, maybe, to get an idea what you're talking about.
Well, they say these wrong things over and over and over and over again. Like, if they say it enough times, it'll just magically become true or something. Lemon Bird's favorite is hump of Earth curve. There is no hump of Earth curve, you idiot.
And the rise to eye level crap's getting a bit tedious.
Elmigs is right. The brainstorming at Brandon's when no normals are around is absolutely comedy gold. And they are so sure that they understand these things. That's the funny part.
They haven't learnt to make new. Oh shit! The bloody chat moved on me. John Rapp. They haven't learnt to make new memories. If they would ever actually listen, Flirts are so gullible as religious and conspiracists. Like that, they often coalesce into one stupid. You know, if I'd have known it wasn't being recorded live last night, I would have actually pressed ABS recording and recorded it myself. They would have just copied the audio, wouldn't it have, Alan? They would have done that.
Depends how you have it set up. You can copy the audio and the video, of course.
Well, the sound was coming, when you turn ABS on, the sound's coming through on the meters as if sound's coming into it. So it would have recorded whatever came in. Yeah.
And of course, if you're in Discord and that's what you're looking at, then yeah, you can record the video. You can obviously just make it. You would just use a OBS thing like you would if you were streaming from your own Discord.
Hmm. Where did I put that?
Well, my computer out in the shop decided to die yesterday. I let the smoke out of it.
Oh no.
Oh, no, that's not good.
That's definitely not good.
Should never let the smoke out.
Yeah, I know. I think it's the power supply.
Was it light grey smoke or thick black smoke?
Yeah, that's
No,
if
it's
that
kind
makes
of
a
light grey
difference.
smoke.
Yeah.
It's light grey.
All the nice blue stuff.
Carl wants me to play this because he went to all the trouble of doing it. So there's a nice straight line for the flurfers, as if that was the horizon, or if you're looking at something like that. I know it's round the wrong way. I know it's round the other way, but it's vertical here. Carl, turn it round the other way. Alright, I'll play it. Now we're zooming out. Zooming out. Oh, something's curving. What is it? What's that shape?
It's the Death Star.
It's the Death Star.
Flat Death Star, that's what it is.
That's exactly what the flurfs can't get their head around. How can a straight line be curved? I can do that. Well, I know you went to all the trouble of doing what you did, Carl, but I'll play it again. That's cool, that. I have seen a video of one person doing this before. And it's that S word that they just cannot understand. Scale. You're not going to get an answer out of Gary Wally. I don't think he does maths. Okay, what else have we got for you? Done that. We've done that. Now show me a cube world. Oh, it's funny, Steve. We'll see Carl about that. Now this, I think Simon done something. Flat earthers have to be stopped. I've got no idea what this is. I haven't seen this either.
It's basically a Fight the Flat Earth episode.
Oh, it's not a Simon.
It's basically a.
I thought it was Flat Earth Friday.
Membership. It's a membership drive for FTFE on Simon's channel.
Okay, I'm not worried about that then.
Because Simon Dan's gone away for a couple of weeks on holiday.
Oh.
It wouldn't be the first time he's done it. In fact, his what's it, Tuesday one that he does, Temporal Tuesdays?
Yeah.
Was Vice Rhino.
Oh, okay.
And the inability of certain people to understand geology.
Oh, the Elming said, Blue Marble Science, black smoke, Pope not elected, white smoke, new Pope.
It was grey smoke. We got a problem.
Yeah, great. Or blue smoke even. Or even blue smoke.
No, not blue smoke. It was great. It was definitely grey smoke.
Okay.
Did you try and force the smoke past the one-way diodes in the wrong direction?
Apparently.
If you captured the smoke, you could have put it back in and it might have fixed it.
I've tried that before. It doesn't work. I ordered new power. So I'll get a new power supply in a few days and see if that's what it is. Hopefully that's what it is.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you can't find Lucas smoke injectors if you're really hard. Yeah. Just.
I don't know. I've had 3 webcams plugged into that thing, plus the light, the LED light that illuminates the vernier.
Mm-hmm.
I might have been loading that power supply up pretty heavily. I don't know.
Yeah. I guess it would depend if they're all on the same port, won't it? As well on the USB side of it. Oh, did we just catch it?
You did. You probably did. It was put up. I haven't played one for a while. I think it was put up this afternoon. My afternoon. It's Pip's 210 more naughty-ish jokes. You just want to hear Pip? You just haven't heard her for a while. Who's watching it? Oh, no, I wasn't watching. I was just getting it ready. I didn't know if it was actually going to play out there. The sound. These are funny. And if you haven't watched it, I'll play it. Because that's probably about all we're going to have time for today. And content. Other than that, I think that's probably about it. Oh, that might have been it. The smoke got attracted to the Cavendish lead balls. No, don't know. Yeah. There we go. We'll finish up on Pip for the night. Where are we? I haven't seen Pip for a while. I don't know where she's been.
Daft Stories, part God knows what. The story of the refrigerator. It got crowded in heaven, so for one day it was decided only to accept people who really had had a bad day on the day they died. St. Peter was standing at the pearly gates and said to the first man, "Tell me about the day you died." The man said, "Oh, it was awful. I was sure my wife was having an affair, so I came home early to catch her with him. I searched all over the apartment but couldn't find him anywhere, so I went out onto the balcony. We live on the 25th floor, and found this man hanging over the edge by his fingertips. I went inside, got a hammer and started hitting his hands. He fell, but landed in some bushes. So I got the refrigerator and pushed it over the balcony and it crushed him. The strain of the act gave me a heart attack and I died." Sir Peter could not deny that this was a pretty bad day, and since it was a crime of passion, he let the man in. He then asked the next man in line about the day he died. Well, sir, it was awful, said the second man. I was doing aerobics on the balcony of my 26th floor apartment when I twisted my ankle and slipped over the edge. I managed to grab the balcony of the apartment below, but some maniac came out and started pounding on my fingers with a hammer. Luckily, I landed in some bushes, but then the guy dropped a refrigerator on me. Sir Peter chuckled, let him into heaven, and decided he could really start to enjoy his job. Tell me about the day you died, he said to the third man in line. Okay, picture this. I'm naked, hiding inside a refrigerator. Oh dear. When Eve asked Adam. Sometimes women are overly suspicious of their husbands. When Adam stayed out very late for a few nights, Eve became upset. You're running around with other women, she charged. You're being unreasonable, Adam responded. You're the only woman on earth. The quarrel continued until Adam fell asleep, only to be awakened by someone poking him in the chest. It was Eve. What do you think you're doing? Adam demanded. Counting your ribs, said Eve. Wrong number. Hello? Hi, honey, this is Daddy. Is Mummy near the phone? No, Daddy, she's upstairs in the bedroom with Uncle Paul. After a brief pause, Daddy says, But, honey, you haven't got an Uncle Paul. Oh, yes, I do, and he's upstairs in the room with Mummy right now. Brief pause. Okay then. This is what I want you to do. Put the phone down on the table, run upstairs and knock on the bedroom door, and shout to Mummy that Daddy's car just pulled into the driveway. Okay, Daddy, just a minute. A few minutes later, the little girl comes back to the phone. I did it, Daddy. And what happened, honey? He asked. Well, Mummy got all scared, jumped out of bed with no clothes on and ran around screaming. Then she tripped over the rug, hit her head on the dresser, and now she isn't moving at all. Oh, my God! What about your Uncle Paul? He jumped out of the bed with no clothes on too. He was all scared and he jumped out of the back window and into the swimming pool. But I guess he didn't know that you took the water last week to clean it. He hit the bottom of the pool and I think he's dead. Long pause. Longer pause. Then Daddy says, Swimming pool? We don't have a swimming pool. Is this 486? 5731? No, our phone number is 486 5713. You've got the Oops. Sleeping Little Mary. Little Mary was not the best student in Sunday school. Usually she slept throughout the class. One day the teacher asked her while she was napping, Tell me, Mary, who created the universe? When Mary did not stir, little Johnny, an altruistic boy seated in the chair behind her, took a pin and jabbed her in the rear. God Almighty! Shouted Mary. Teacher said, Very good, and Mary fell back asleep. A while later, the teacher asked Mary, Who's our Lord and Saviour? But Mary did not even stir from her slumber. Once again, Johnny came to the rescue and stuck her again. Jesus Christ! Shouted Mary. The teacher said, Very good, and Mary fell back asleep. Then the teacher asked Mary a third question. What did Eve say to Adam after she had her 23rd child? And again Johnny jabbed her with the pin. This time Mary jumped up and shouted, If you stick that damn thing in me one more time, I'll break it in half. The story of the milking machine. A farmer ordered a high-tech milking machine. Since the equipment arrived when his wife was out of town, he decided to test it on himself. So he inserted his manhood into the equipment, turned on the switch, and everything else was automatic. Soon he realized that the equipment provided him with much more pleasure than his wife did. When the fun was over, though, he quickly realized that he could not remove the instrument from his member. He read the manual, but did not find any useful information on how to disengage himself. He tried every button on the instrument, but still without success. Finally, he decided to call the supplier's customer service hotline with his cell phone. Thank God for cell phones. Hello. I just bought a milking machine from your company. It works fantastic, but how do I remove it from the cow's udder? Do not worry, replied the customer service rep. The machine will release automatically once it has collected 2 gallons. The story of a goner. A man and a woman were dating. She, being of a religious nature, had held back the worldly pleasure that he wanted from her so bad. In fact, he had never even seen her naked. One day, as they drove down the freeway, she remarked about his slow driving habits. I can't stand it any more, she told him. Let's play a game. For every 5 miles per hour over the speed limit you drive, I will remove 1 piece of clothing. He enthusiastically agreed and sped up the car. He reached the 55 mph mark, so she took off her blouse. At 60, off came the pants. At 65, it was her bra, and at 70, her panties. Now, seeing her naked for the first time and travelling faster than he ever had before, he became very excited and lost control of the car. He veered off the road, went over an embankment and hit a tree. His girlfriend was not hurt, but he was trapped. She tried to pull him free, but alas, he was stuck. "Go to the road and get help," he said. "I do not have anything to cover myself with," she replied. The man felt around, but could only reach one of his shoes. "You'll have to put this between your legs to cover it up," he told her. So she did as he said and went up to the road for help. Along came a truck driver. Seeing a naked, crying woman along the road, he pulled over to hear her story. My boyfriend, she sobbed. "He's stuck and I cannot pull him out." I know where this is going. The truck driver, looking down at the shoe between her legs, replies, "Ma'am, if he's in that far, I'm afraid he's a goner." The story of the sperm count. An 85-year-old man went to his doctor's office to get a sperm count. The doctor gave the man a jar and said, "Take this jar home and bring back a semen sample tomorrow." The next day, the 85-year-old man reappeared at the doctor's office and gave him the jar, which was clean and empty as on the previous day. The doctor asked what happened, and the man explained, "Well, Doc, it's like this. First I tried with my right hand, but nothing. Then I tried with my left hand, but still nothing. Then I asked my wife for help. She tried with her right hand, and then her left, still nothing. She tried with her mouth, first with the teeth in, and then with the teeth out, still nothing. We even called up Arlene, the lady next door, and she tried too, first with both hands, then an armpit, and she even tried squeezing it between her knees, but still nothing." The doctor was shocked. "You asked your neighbour?" The old man replied, "Yep, and no matter what we tried, we still could not get the jar open." Oh, what a polluted mind. The end. Don't forget to like and subscribe and press the wee bell notification. And a huge big thank you to all my subscribers and patrons. See you next week. Bye bye.
You have to leave a lot to the imagination for some of those stories. Well, it depends what type of imagination you got. And I totally missed your clue for Mr. Miller.
Did you?
Because I definitely know who that is.
Yeah, it wasn't a hard one.
That's about it. I can't think of anything else. If anyone's got anything else, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Or get your wife or your neighbour to hold your peace, right?
Yeah, no matter what I could do, I couldn't get the lid off.
Them damn jars.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm typing at the moment. Oh, not spell right. Yeah, I spelled that correctly. Couple of emojis. I miss that one. And that one. That. Well, thanks, Alan. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Blue. We got Clive, Death, Carl, Steve. I know Wally was out there. Dan, John. Elmigs. I think Dora was out there somewhere. Demon Orb. John. Wally, yeah, I said Wally. Brainery. I'm going to say Carl again.
Both Johns?
Who's the other John?
John Rappin, John.
John Stock.
Stock, that's it.
Yeah.
Dora.
Dora, Steve. Room Fondle. Oh, and Spooky Bed Hair. No Name. Say Where's Wally again. Shout out to Where's Wally.
Elmigs.
Yeah, Elmigs. I think I'm nearly there. I don't think I can. Death. There.
Fred.
Yeah, that's it. I can't go any further. I've run out of. Can't go any further. Yeah, you too, Dora.
Oh, and we can't forget Gary and Thank God It's Flat.
Oh, definitely. All right then. Thank you, Brady, for turning up. Thank you, Carl. Now I see a few regulars starting to slowly creep back in. Like Milkman Dan, haven't seen him for a while. Who else hasn't? Well, Wally's found us back again, so that's good as well. Avery and Funnel, there's all the thumbs. How many thumbs up did you just give me? 18. Oh, that's not too bad. That's passable. And 1 thumbs down. That doesn't bother me.
You might have got another thumbs up there, Terry.
Might have I?
I forgot.
You
yeah, I
forgot
might have forgotten.
You forgot it, did you? 23.
I always forget it.
Well, it's 23. There's 4 of us here. So that's not too bad. Oh well. If anyone wants to come over to Discord for a bit of an after show, they can. You're all welcome out there in the chat. If you haven't got a link to my Discord, yeah, I'll have to give you one. I think you've nearly all got one out there by the look of it. I don't think anyone out there hasn't got one that I know of. Yeah. All right then.
Well, hopefully not Gary.
No, I don't think I'm not sure if Gary's been invited to my Discord. I can't remember. Oh. He's probably lurking. Alright then, guys. I'll see you next time.
Yeah. Good night, Peanuts.
And if I do a Monday stream, you just have to, it'll be more of the spur of the moment, my time, the daytime. So, you just have to watch out for that. Alright, I'm out.